Marcus Aurelius, the renowned philosopher-emperor, once encapsulated a profound truth. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. This teaching serves as a beacon illuminating our essence, reminding us that every notion, every spark of curiosity, every fleeting thought contributes to the vibrant tapestry of our soul. Close your eyes and envision another version of yourself, a sharper, deeper, and wiser individual. Someone capable of seeing through the complexities of any situation, making sound decisions, and living a life filled with purpose. Seems like a distant dream, doesn't it? But no, it's a goal well within your reach. In this video, we will embark on a journey with you to explore 13 powerful Stoic techniques, time-tested, to enhance your intelligence, broaden your perspective, and reach a new realm of thinking. This is your opportunity to delve into the depths of your mind, unlock your limitless potential, and gradually become the best version of yourself. If you yearn for personal growth and aspire to become wiser, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Your journey of intellectual discovery begins now. Let us accompany you and help you reach new heights on the path of self-improvement. Number 1. Turning challenges into opportunities. Adversity, for a Stoic warrior, is not an obstacle but a challenge to strengthen oneself. We do not shy away from difficulties, but embrace them as an essential part of life, like a forge that tempers our best qualities. While others complain about adversity, we see opportunity. As Epictetus said, "Disease is an impediment to the body, but not to the will." We do not let adversity weaken our spirit. Instead, we use it to train our willpower and inner strength. Pain, illness, and insults are challenges for the body and mind. We do not allow ourselves to wallow in self-pity, but transform these difficulties into opportunities to cultivate patience, resilience, and endurance. Marcus Aurelius also reminds us, "Can anyone prevent you from being good and upright? No one but ourselves can decide our actions and character. We can choose to live a life of integrity, kindness, and decency, regardless of the adversities we face. Just as nature can turn every obstacle into a source of nourishment, we can turn every hardship into raw material to achieve our goals." Starting with small things, as Epictetus advised, we can practice patience when faced with insults or focus on positive aspects when experiencing pain. To succeed, the desire for success must be greater than the fear of failure. Fear is merely an obstacle on the path to conquest. We must turn it into motivation to push ourselves forward. If fear is not mastered, it becomes a specter that haunts us, preventing us from seizing opportunities and achieving success. It sows doubt, weakens our will, and causes us to falter in the face of challenges. To conquer fear, we need to cultivate determination and persistence. View it as an adversary to be overcome, not an insurmountable barrier. Remember, each time we face fear, we have the opportunity to strengthen our resolve and become stronger. Do not let it control your life. Be its master. Turn fear into a flame of passion, a driving force to overcome all difficulties and challenges. Trust in yourself and your abilities. Be brave enough to step out of your comfort zone, explore new things, and conquer new heights. Only by daring to face fear can we discover our full potential and achieve unexpected success. Among the notable individuals who have embraced and praised the Stoic lifestyle, Sam Sullivan, former mayor of Vancouver, stands as an inspiring example. His life is a vivid testament to the power of this philosophy, especially in facing adversity. After a tragic skiing accident at age 19 left him quadriplegic, Sam fell into deep despair, struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts for 6 years. However, it was Stoicism that helped him rise and transform his life. Sam turned adversity into an opportunity to train himself, both physically and mentally. He persevered in practicing simple movements to regain bodily function. More importantly, he changed his outlook on life, from a passive victim to an active seeker of success. Sam Sullivan's story is a valuable lesson in human resilience and mental strength. It shows that even in the toughest circumstances, we can find the strength to overcome and rise. Stoicism helped Sam achieve this. Life is full of challenges and hardships, and to overcome them, we need patience, perseverance, and a spirit of renewal. Sometimes we face great obstacles, feelings of helplessness and disappointment, but it's never too late to change and overcome life's difficulties. First, we need to recognize that we cannot completely control everything that happens in our lives. Instead, we should focus on controlling how we respond to difficult situations. We should view challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. We can learn from our mistakes and become stronger after going through trials. Second, we should find ways to solve problems creatively. Instead of merely addressing issues conventionally, we should look for innovative approaches. Finding creative solutions will enhance our problem-solving abilities in the future. If you constantly succumb to challenges and difficulties, you will never know your potential and capabilities. Imagine an F1 racer who never experiences challenging races. Could he become the best racer in the world? No, because only by facing difficulties and challenges can he hone his skills, learn from experience, and develop himself. Third, we should focus on positive things and find joy in life. Instead of dwelling on the negatives, we should concentrate on the good around us. This will help us maintain a positive spirit and avoid being overwhelmed by negative emotions. Finally, to overcome life's difficulties and challenges, we need patience and perseverance. It's not easy to face obstacles and hardships, but we must hold on to our belief and hope that things will get better. We should not stop in the face of failures and challenges. Instead, we should keep confronting them and learn from our mistakes and failures. Only by not giving up and continuing to strive can we achieve great success and overcome life's challenges. Every challenge, big or small, is an opportunity to cultivate qualities and become stronger. Embrace adversity with a resilient spirit and turn it into a driving force for self-development. Number 2. Focus on what you can control. Epictetus, a great Stoic philosopher, once said, "The path to happiness is to stop worrying about things beyond your control." Stoicism is built on the fundamental idea that we cannot control the world around us, but we can control how we respond to it. Philosophers remind us that in life, there are things we have no control over, things we have partial control over, and things we have complete control over. The only way to find peace in our lives is to accept this, let go of what we cannot control, and focus on what we can control. So what can't we control? The bad news is that you can hardly control anything that happens in life. You cannot control what others say or think. You also cannot choose your genes, the circumstances you were born into, or whether you grew up with a depressed mother and an alcoholic father. You cannot control the year you were born, the cultural values you inherited, or the people you grew up with. You certainly cannot control the disasters that happen to you: car accidents, lightning strikes, floods, earthquakes, or meteor impacts. You also do not have complete control over whether you will get cancer, diabetes, lupus, or Alzheimer's. And you cannot predict if a loved one will unexpectedly pass away in an unimaginable way. You cannot control what others think of you or the rumors they hear about you. There's nothing in this crazy world that you can completely control. Trying or worrying about any of these things is futile and only makes life more difficult. However, sorrow or suffering almost always stems from trying to control things we cannot. Therefore, first, accepting that there are things we cannot control is essential if we want our lives to be happier. If we cannot control the world, external events, or other people, what is left for us to control? The only thing you can control, which is far more important than all of the above, is your own thoughts. In Stoicism, the only two things we have absolute control over are our thoughts and actions. We cannot control the world around us, but we can control how we react to it through our judgments and responses. Of course, there are things in life that we cannot control, but our perception of events and how we respond to them will make life better. The Buddha also taught that if someone shoots you with an arrow, you suffer twice. The first is the physical wound caused by the arrow piercing your flesh. But the second wound is your belief and thoughts about the physical wound. Naturally, you would think, "Why me?" when struck by an arrow, wishing you hadn't been hit. You wish the arrow and the person who shot it never existed, and you suffer because of those thoughts. This second wound is entirely mental, and it happens or not, depending on your choice. Psychologists often talk about the phenomenon of catastrophizing pain. We dramatize pain for various reasons. The first reason is that some people are so pampered that even the slightest inconvenience throws them into crisis. But the second reason lies in the reward hormones released when you receive sympathy, attention, or are elevated in importance. Many believe that social media has created a kind of victim culture, where people are rewarded for their pain. Therefore, unconsciously, we must suffer as much as possible. The problem is, we all suffer when we catastrophize pain. As the Buddha taught, we make the second wound fester and bleed more than the first wound. But we don't completely want to erase this mental wound, because the likes we get on social media bring a huge reward. One thing I always remind myself is that no event I have ever faced is unique. Millions, even billions of others have experienced it before me. The essence of dramatizing pain lies in ego. It operates on the hypothesis that your experience is unique, that no one has ever gone through it, so they will never understand the pain you must endure. Somehow, the whole world is against you, and only you. You cannot control pain, but you can control your thoughts about it. You can also completely choose whether you will never recover or become stronger than before. Because pain is inevitable, but enduring it is up to you. Number 3. Rejecting impositions from others. On the tumultuous journey of life, we not only face objective challenges, but also pressures and impositions from others. These can manifest as well-intentioned advice, lofty expectations, stringent demands, or even commands from family, friends, colleagues, or society. However, Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on the values of freedom and self-control, teaches us not to blindly accept impositions from others. Instead, we should listen to our inner voice and live according to our own values and principles. Stoics understand that each individual is an independent entity, with the right to choose and decide their own path. They do not allow others to impose their will or control their thoughts, emotions, and actions. They recognize that true happiness and inner peace can only be achieved by living authentically. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This statement underscores the importance of self-control when facing external pressures and impositions. With self-control, we are not easily swayed by the words or actions of others. We can confidently make decisions that align with our values and principles. For instance, someone might be pressured by friends to participate in an activity they are not comfortable with. Without self-control, they might readily agree to avoid displeasing others. However, with self-control, they will have the strength to say no, protect their personal boundaries, and pursue what truly matters to them. In conclusion, rejecting impositions from others is not selfish or uncaring. It is a way to protect our freedom and integrity. By listening to our inner voice and living in accordance with our own values, we can build an authentic and fulfilling life. Number 4. Living in accordance with nature. Living in accordance with nature is the essence of Stoic philosophy. Nature is not something distant, but the very essence of all things, the flow of the universe, of which we are an inseparable part. Living in accordance with nature does not mean returning to primitive times, but rather living in harmony with the laws of the universe, accepting what is beyond our control. Nature does not judge or favor, it simply operates according to its own laws. When we try to fight against nature, we only bring suffering and disappointment upon ourselves. Instead, we should learn to accept what cannot be changed and focus on what we can control, our thoughts and actions. Nature is a great teacher, always ready to instruct those who are willing to listen. Learn to accept the ups and downs of life as an essential part of nature, just as trees accept the changing seasons. Cherish every moment, as each is unique and cannot be repeated. Living in accordance with nature does not mean giving up the conveniences of modern life, but using them consciously and responsibly. Be content with what you have. Do not let greed blind you and rob you of inner peace. Living in accordance with nature means leading a simple life, not being driven by superficial material desires. Appreciate what you have. Know that enough is enough, and seek happiness in the simple things of life. Observe nature and learn from it. The sun rises and sets, trees shed their leaves with the seasons. These are lessons in cycles, acceptance, and letting go. When we live in accordance with nature, we find true peace and satisfaction. There's a fable that tells of a small dog that continuously ran in circles trying to catch its tail. After exhausting itself, it lay down on the ground, panting heavily. A big dog passed by and asked what had happened. The small dog replied, "A friend told me that if I could catch my tail, I would have eternal happiness and joy. So, I tried to catch my tail and became exhausted like this." The big dog sighed and said, "When I was young, I also heard this and did the same, exhausting myself like you. But when I pursued happiness and joy, it was never in front of me. On the contrary, when I stopped chasing it and let everything follow its natural course, I found that happiness and joy were right behind me, following me day and night." Happiness and joy are parts of life, but many people do not know how to appreciate them. Many people chase after fame, status, and material enjoyment every day, making their spirits weary and bodies exhausted without ever attaining true happiness and joy. People often do not realize that many things in life can only be achieved by following the natural course, and happiness is one of them. The highest state of human life is to achieve without seeking. For anything, do not force it, follow the natural flow, and peace and happiness will come naturally. Number 5. Living courageously. Every Stoic is a warrior, always ready to face any challenge life presents. This might be a battle to protect oneself, family, justice, or even a battle against temptations, corruption, and pride within oneself. History has witnessed the shining examples of courage from Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, fought tirelessly for 19 years to protect the Roman Empire from Germanic invasions. He was not only a warrior on the battlefield, but also a warrior in his mind, constantly struggling not to be corrupted by power. Seneca, another great Stoic figure, faced death at the hands of the tyrant Nero with bravery and calmness. He did not hesitate to tell Nero, "You can kill me, but you cannot harm me." Thrasea, a Stoic politician, stood up against Nero knowing that it would cost him his life. He died gloriously, without regret, clearly demonstrating the indomitable spirit of a Stoic warrior. Stoics do not avoid reality or escape from society to seek liberation. They are ready to face every difficulty and challenge and fight for what is right. However, courage is not blind recklessness. It always goes hand in hand with wisdom, justice, and temperance, particularly wisdom. Only wisdom can help us distinguish right from wrong, enabling us to make correct decisions and actions. In today's era, courage does not necessarily manifest through violence or war. It can be shown through words, by speaking out against wrong and harmful ideologies. A Stoic is not harmless, but is always ready to fight when necessary to protect the values they believe in. As Epictetus said, "Life is like a military campaign. Each of us has a position and a duty. Hold your position, fulfill your duty, and fight with all your might for your ideals. Remember, everyone will eventually die. But you can choose to live a meaningful life, fight for what is right, and die with glory, or live a cowardly life and die in shame." Number 6. Living virtuously. Living a virtuous life is the highest goal that Stoics aspire to. Virtue, in Stoic philosophy, is not merely about being good, but about perfecting the rational nature of humanity. When we live virtuously, we live a complete life, a truly good life. This perfection is manifested through 4 main virtues: wisdom, prudence, good judgment, sound understanding, justice, kindness, fairness, benevolence, courage, bravery, perseverance, honesty, confidence, and self-discipline, orderliness, self-control, forgiveness, humility. Practicing these virtues brings us closer to eudaimonia, a good and flourishing life. However, Stoics believe that virtue can only be achieved when we practice all these virtues equally. One cannot be courageous without self-discipline or intelligent without being just. Each virtue complements the others, creating a harmonious and complete whole. Virtuous action is its own reward. We do what is right because it is the right thing to do, in accordance with nature and reason. Living virtuously not only brings us inner peace, but also contributes to the common good of our community and the world. Remember, living virtuously is not a distant goal, but a continuous journey of self-improvement and refinement. Every small action, every positive thought is a step forward on the path of virtue. Start today by practicing small virtues, and gradually, you will find yourself moving closer to a better and more meaningful life.
Number 7. Living simply.
At the core of Stoicism is simplicity. It's about simplifying your life in every aspect and living with only the essentials. One of the most prominent lessons in Stoicism is learning to want less. Most people believe that happiness comes from achieving more. Success, money, fame, talent, time, or possessions. The problem is that constantly wanting more only makes our lives harder. We become slaves to our desires. Stoic philosophers teach that we can free ourselves by simply wanting less. If we tie our happiness to what we do not have, we become more unhappy. Life has given you plenty. You just need to recognize it. Look at what you have, and then use it well. You cannot control what you don't have, but you can control what you do have. True wealth and power arise from your ability to use what you own. What gives it value is how you use it, not just that you have it. If you constantly expect life to give you everything you want, you will be continuously disappointed, and you will never find happiness. It is better to accept life as it is recognize what you have, and then make the most of it. You can desire certain things, such as the essentials for a comfortable and fulfilling life, and you can also have dreams, aspirations, and goals. You should strive to improve yourself, your circumstances, and build a better life for yourself and your loved ones. These things are part of self-improvement and life enhancement. Stoicism does not ask us to completely eliminate desire. Instead, it encourages us to want the right things, appreciate what we have, and use it to our advantage. Stoics believe that a good life requires controlling one's character. Our ability to create happiness comes from this. First, we must recognize that all we truly need for happiness is ourselves. Of course, there are basic, essential needs that we must meet, but most of us clutter our lives with things we don't need. What we can do is cut out everything unnecessary. Internally, we might first think of getting rid of material things, although it's not just material possessions we need to cut out, but also our thoughts and actions. We should regularly be mindful of whether our thoughts and actions help us move forward or improve our lives. What is necessary are the things that help you progress and make you better and happier. Therefore, continually ask yourself if something is necessary for you. If it isn't, eliminate it from your life.
Number 8. Accept whatever happens.
Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, had a unique way of harmonizing his will with reality. He compared the events in life to prescriptions given by a doctor. Just as we must take medicine prescribed by a doctor to heal, we should embrace external events as remedies that help us grow and perfect ourselves. Whatever happens to us, whether good or bad, is part of a larger plan of nature. These are not random events, but prescribed doses intended to help us develop and become better versions of ourselves. Even hardships and challenges can be valuable lessons that strengthen our will and inner resilience. Consider looking at things this way. Nature is a complex system where it's impossible to clearly define what is good or bad. We cannot predict what misfortunes might bring us or where good luck might lead. Therefore, accept everything as if it were your own choice. When we change our perspective, we cease to be victims of circumstance and become active creators of our lives. We take more responsibility for what happens, finding meaning and purpose in every experience. Let me tell you the famous story of the scientist Edison. At the age of 67, after a day in the lab, Thomas Edison returned home. After dinner, a man knocked on the door with urgent news. A fire had broken out at the laboratory a few miles away. The fire trucks could not contain the blaze. Because of the chemicals, the flames turned green and yellow, threatening to destroy the entire empire Edison had spent his life building. When Edison arrived at the scene, he immediately told his son, "Go get your mother and all her friends. They'll never see a fire like this again." Unbelievable reaction, right? He had lost much of what he had spent his life building, and instead of being sad or angry, he accepted it and tried to make the best of the situation. He began rebuilding what the fire had destroyed the very next day. This is an example of making the best of the cards you are dealt. It's about non-resistance. Moreover, this example shows that Stoic acceptance has nothing to do with passive resignation. Edison started rebuilding everything the very next day. He accepted his fate with grace and did his best to recover. And this is what the Stoics advise us to do. Don't fight reality, but align your will with it and focus on where your power lies.
Number 9. Don't exaggerate everything.
Are we imprisoning ourselves in invisible jails, constructed from our own worries and fears? Are we allowing imagined pains and potential troubles to dominate our lives? How many times have we tossed and turned, anxious about uncertain future plans, worrying about things that might never happen? How often have we suffered from past wounds and mistakes, forgetting that the present is what truly matters. Pain is an inevitable part of life, but the pain we create from our worries and fears is an unnecessary burden. Reflect on this. How much of our pain is real, and how much of it is just a product of our imagination? Don't let imagined troubles bind you. Don't let fear of the future steal the joy of the present. Live each moment fully, face challenges as they come, and trust in your ability to overcome any difficulties. Seneca once said, "Do not be unhappy before the crisis comes." We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Indeed, humans tend to exaggerate pain, worrying excessively about things that haven't happened yet. We often conjure up the worst-case scenarios, only to drown in fear and anxiety. Remember, sorrow only truly exists when it happens. Don't let invisible worries overwhelm you, and don't let your imagination create nightmares far worse than reality. Instead of worrying about what might happen, focus on the present and what you can control. Face each day with calm and resilience. When real difficulties arise, trust in your ability to overcome them. Don't let fear steal your joy and peace. Live every moment fully, because life is too short to waste on sorrows that haven't even happened yet.
Number 10. Avoiding negative people. Stoic philosophy teaches us that happiness and inner peace do not depend on external events, but rather on how we react to them. Therefore, distancing oneself from negative people is a crucial strategy for protecting our minds and maintaining balance in life. Negative people tend to complain, criticize, and spread pessimism. Prolonged exposure to them can influence our worldview, causing us to lose faith and hope. According to Stoicism, we cannot control the behavior of others, but we can absolutely control how we respond to them. So, instead of getting caught up in a vortex of negativity, proactively create distance from those who have a detrimental effect on your spirit. This doesn't mean we should be cold or aloof towards everyone with negative thoughts. Sometimes, they just need someone to listen and understand. However, if their negativity becomes a habit and affects your peace, don't hesitate to set boundaries or even distance yourself from them. Remember, you have the right to choose who you want to be around, and prioritize spending time with those who inspire you and bring positive energy into your life. As Seneca once said, associate with people who are likely to improve you. By carefully selecting your environment and avoiding negative people, you create favorable conditions for personal growth and a more meaningful life. Number 11. Living fully in the present.
There is a very famous saying by Lao Tzu: "If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present." The past is what has happened yesterday, or simply just happened. Listening to your heartbeat, ticking moment by moment, is like watching your past flow by. We all have a past, as it is the starting point for the present and the future. However, perhaps you have forgotten one thing. We are living for the present. What is happening around us right now? We only live once, so why drown in the past, letting life pass by meaninglessly? You know, the past, whether good or bad, cannot be changed. We should not dwell on and be demoralized by what has passed. What happens in the past will become valuable lessons for us to learn from, to live well in the present, and to give us a bright future. Would you admit that there are times when you are engrossed in past failures or sorrows? If so, you are living in the past. Why? Any moment that has passed in your life becomes the past. For example, if you walked in the park with your dog this morning, by the afternoon, that event is already in the past. And what about the future? We are born as ordinary people, without superpowers or supernatural abilities. Therefore, we cannot foresee everything that will happen in the future, nor do we know what we will be like in the future. Even knowing this is impossible, some people still always worry and feel uneasy by creating a future in their minds while living in the present. This issue happens to many people. For example, if you have an important interview tomorrow, you might start worrying and feeling anxious days before, perhaps losing sleep over it. Or if you have an upcoming exam, instead of studying, you fret, stress, and worry. These are typical examples of those who always think about the future. People of all ages can have this mindset. If you ask anyone, the majority will likely say, "I'm worried about this or that." Therefore, we should not regret the past, nor should we only dream about the future. If you want to build a peaceful, happy life, start from this very moment. The past and future support us, but the present is where we live. Why do these mindsets occur? I believe the first reason is that you are not living fully in the present. You forget the existence of the present and are controlled by the imaginary future you created. Secondly, perhaps you have not accepted your current self, so you create expectations that you will be better in the future. Regardless of the cause, this greatly affects the quality of life in the present. You should learn to take better care of yourself, meditate, read, or keep a journal to ease your mind. Living in the present does not mean ignoring the past or not caring about the future. The past is full of lessons and experiences that help us grow, while the future holds plans and goals for us to strive for. However, do not let the past haunt you or the future worry you. Learn to accept the past, look forward to the future, but live fully in the present. Focus on what is happening around you. Feel every breath, every heartbeat, every flavor of life. Enjoy the small joys, cherish your loved ones, and be grateful for the good things life offers. Do not let the worries and troubles of life make you forget the value of the present. Spend time on what you love. Do things that make you happy, and live a meaningful life in your own way. Because the present is the most precious gift we have, and only by appreciating it can we live a full and happy life.
Number 12. Seeing success and failure as equals.
In the journey of life, success and failure are just two sides of the same coin. We often celebrate success and shy away from failure, but is it fair to judge them so superficially? Stoics view success and failure as equal experiences, both bringing value to personal growth. Success brings joy, confidence, and self-affirmation, but it can also lead to complacency and a tendency to rest on one's laurels. Failure, though painful and disappointing, offers an opportunity to learn, self-reflect, and identify areas for improvement. Failure is not the end. It is a step back to gather momentum for greater progress. It teaches us valuable lessons that success cannot provide. It is through our stumbles and mistakes that we grow, becoming stronger and more resilient. Therefore, do not be overly joyous in success, nor overly sorrowful in failure. Embrace both with a calm and grateful heart, and learn from them. For both success and failure are invaluable experiences that help us perfect ourselves and live a more meaningful life.
Number 13. Living mindfully.
Living mindfully is not just a lifestyle or a state of mind, but a deep awareness and attentiveness to each present moment. It involves immersing ourselves in every instant, clearly recognizing and acknowledging everything happening inside and outside our minds. The result? Maximum productivity and unparalleled focus, allowing us to complete each task with precision and absolute efficiency. When we live mindfully, we don't merely observe the world around us. A mindful person listens attentively to the flow of consciousness, monitoring every emotion, every reaction, and every intention of the mind in response to external influences. Through this practice of observation, our minds gradually become more peaceful, clear, and lucid. As we progress on this path, we not only gain a deeper understanding of the world around us, but also discover more about our true selves. However, achieving mindfulness is neither an easy nor an automatic journey. To become a mindful person, we need to practice diligently, step by step, awareness by awareness. We learn to pay attention to and monitor every thought and action, helping us minimize mistakes and avoid future regrets. Ultimately, a life of mindfulness is not only filled with joy, but also imbued with meaning, happiness, and peace. We often hear about observing the stream of consciousness, but in reality, living mindfully helps us do much more. It allows us to clearly recognize how our minds react to external stimuli, from what we like to what we find unpleasant or even detest. By consistently practicing mindfulness, we gradually become aware of our instincts, thoughts, and emotions, enabling us to control and adjust them promptly and effectively. Whenever we encounter negative thoughts or conflicts, we have the ability to suppress and adjust them before they become intense and manifest through words or actions. This not only helps us avoid undesirable situations, but also enhances our self-control and empowerment. Mindful living is not merely about staying alert. It means immersing our entire mind and attention into every action, allowing us to deeply understand the emotions, thoughts, and perceptions within ourselves, as well as the changes in our surrounding environment. When we focus in this way, we not only complete our tasks to perfection, but also ensure that every detail is meticulously attended to, leaving no room for flaws. The secret behind the perfection and high quality of work lies in our ability to channel our energy, concentration, and determination into the task at hand. Naturally, when we do this, the efficiency of our work not only reaches optimal levels, but also reflects our heartfelt dedication and the art of perfection. This approach not only helps us optimize resources, save time and budget, but also ensures that our valuable energy is neither scattered nor wasted during the process, making the work more effective and creative than ever before. We hope that the knowledge and experiences shared have sown positive seeds in your soul, helping you find peace, happiness, and true meaning in life. If this video has touched your heart, spread the goodness by sharing it with your loved ones. Who knows? It might be a meaningful gift that helps them find positive changes in their lives too. We eagerly await your valuable feedback. Please leave a comment below to share your thoughts and feelings about the video or your personal stories and experiences applying these techniques. Each of your shares is a great source of motivation for us. Thank you for always being with us on this journey. See you in the upcoming videos, where we will continue to explore useful knowledge and inspiring stories, together cultivating a better life every day.